Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Once again, we're back in the house with another message I want to share with you guys. Fight with a clear head, okay? One of the best things in life is to wake up with a sense of exuberance, to wake up knowing that there's nothing wrong, right? Over the past couple of days, I had piriformis syndrome. I was doing the adductors, the two machines that everyone avoids in the gym, the one where you close your legs together like a scissors and the one where you move your legs apart, right? The hip adductor and the hip abductor. Well, that exercise is very good for running. It's very good for swimming. It's very good for correcting your gait. And my son is becoming a bodybuilder now, but he still walks with his knees kind of together. So I'm teaching him to train with that, those two exercises. And like I said, they're very good for running, believe it or not. Hip adductors and hip abductors. But the problem is, when you are doing the adductor, I think it is, where you're moving your legs out, you're pushing against resistance to go out, you can pinch your sciatic nerve or the piriform muscle. And believe me, sciatica is a terrible pain, and piriform syndrome is a very, very terrible pain as well. The piriform muscle starts up here in the stomach, in the abdomen, and goes down through the pelvis bone and down the leg. It crosses the sciatic nerve. So if you have piriform syndrome, you're going to also have a case of sciatica, and it really hurts. It really hurts, because when you hurt that deeply, your heart hurts. And you can't really, you're handicapped from doing the things that you want to do. You're crippled from doing the things that you want to do because no one knows it. There's no obvious outward sign of injury, but you're in pain. And that's one of the worst, because you look like you're at your best, but you know that you're not at your best because you don't feel like you're at your best. So, my solution is hot yoga, right? It has to be. I think that's everybody's solution. You do your yoga, you sit in the pigeon pose, and you bend over forward and you stretch that gluteus, stretch your butt, you stretch the gluteus out on both sides, and you stretch the piriform muscle, and hopefully you can get some relief. And it does work. It does work. And then when I wake up without that hip pain, I'm like, wow, I'm back to normal. And I didn't realize how good it felt to be normal, how good normal feels, how good it feels to be pain-free. It's one of those situations where you contemplate wellness as being the opposite of illness, because if you're not ill, then you are well. It makes you appreciate life, depending on your personality and character, depending on your makeup. But it makes you appreciate life when you can come back to normal, pain-free, and normal is a robust state of health and a great sense of self-efficacy and self-worth and exuberance and excitement about doing the things that you want to do. I mean, that's the whole purpose behind purpose, right? That's the whole point behind having a sense of purpose. You define your life, and if you define your life, then it should be a life that you wake up with vigor to live. It should be a life that you're excited about. It should be a life that you want to live. And you should get up every day with a sense of passion. passion for what you're doing, passion for your life. You know, sometimes, just like having piriforms or having sciatica, it's a personal pain. Other people don't know that you're experiencing it, right? But you know because you're feeling it inside. Sometimes the pain that you're feeling is actually hidden from you. Sometimes you could have a condition that is taking away your esprit de corps, it's taking away your enthusiasm, that's depleting and draining your enthusiasm, and you may not even know that it's happening. You may not even be aware of it. You can think, okay, well, I'm not in pain, I'm not physically ill, I'm physically strong, I'm exercising and everything else. What's going on? Well, when I was in Spain, I learned Spanish. And I learned the word mandar, which is mandate. Mandar. Send, right? Mandar. Right? Mandate, mandar, which means to send in most cases, in most scenarios, with the exception of fax and probably email as well. Because when you send a fax in Spanish, that word is enviar. It's not mandar, it's enviar, right? And I like to make, you know, I'm a linguist, right? I'm a Russian linguist. I speak Spanish fluently. I know a little Japanese. I know a little American Sign Language. Yeah. But I like to break down words to their root and invent words, because 9 out of 10, I'm right. If I can break a word down to its Latin root and assign a Spanish conjugation to it, right? Then, like I said, 9 out of 10 times I will be right. Or 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 times. Sometimes I just make up a word and my Spanish friends laugh at me. But 8 out of 10 times I'll be right. So I'm going to do a little linguistic juxtaposition here. And I'm going to assume that the word envy in English perhaps has some meaning that relates to enviar in Spanish, which is to send, like to send a fax or to transfer a fax. Where you're transferring a fax through the air, right? Or through the wires of the phone or whatever, but you know. And you're not moving the original document, you're moving a facsimile of the document. So it seems logical to me that when someone envies you, when you are experiencing envy, when someone is experiencing envy toward you, that it's not just a personal feeling, that they are sending their envy at you, toward you. They are projecting their envy, their hatred toward you. And even if you don't feel it on a very spiritual level, and I'm speaking on very spiritual terms right now, okay? So maybe not, you may not understand, okay? But enviar, oh, I'm in the wrong parking lot. Enviar, right, is sending. And the person who's envious is not only suffering alone and feeling that envy, They're sending it. Now, in West African spirituality, the Orisha are here to protect your Ori, your head. And envy is one of the things that they're here to guard against. Because whether you realize it or not, the envious people, the haters, the people who are hating on you, they're sending you the evil eye. And I don't say that to spook anybody or to scare anybody. I'm just speaking truthfully and honestly. And that envy, that negative energy does exist. And that negative energy can cost. That negative energy can take a toll on you. Whether you're self-contained, arrogant individual such as myself who doesn't care what people think, or whether you're a sensitive person, beta male, Democrat kind of guy who does care what people think. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because it does happen, and that energy is there, right? And that energy is being directed towards you, whether you want to accept it or not. So basically what I'm trying to get across is understand that this energy does exist. And in order for you to get up every day and fight, you get up every day and do the things that you have to do to be an independent person, to express independence, honesty, integrity, justice, productiveness, and pride, to be a rational and objective individual, you have to make yourself aware that this is going on, that these energies do exist, and that they exist for the purpose of throwing you off your square. Okay? I want you to be an independent person. You want to be an independent person. You know you do, right? But just understand that sometimes you have to take a little break, okay, to flick the flies off, right? To make sure that the boogers, the hood boogers, the envious people, the people who are trying to distract you and detract from your life, even though you're busy working on constructive things and positive things and building a good life and building a positive life, these narcissists, these narcissistic Machiavellian psychopaths are busy working in the background, working against you. So sometimes, like I said, my advice most of the time would be ignore them and just keep pushing, right? But sometimes, in order to not get up with that sciatic pain or that piriform pain in the ass, right, feeling that is going to gnaw at you and prevent you from even wanting to do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. Sometimes you have to make yourself aware, and sometimes you have to defend your boundaries. Sometimes you have to stick your elbows out in both directions and make sure that the people who have nothing to do but to wish ill upon those of us who are minding our business and living successful lives, you have to address them, right? You have to address them. You have to put them in their place. Are they going to keep trying to pull you down? Probably. But it doesn't matter. Maybe not. Your goal is not to permanently affect their behavior. Your goal is to establish your boundaries and to make sure that everyone knows that if any attacks are made on your well-being, that you will be defending yourself, that you will be looking out for yourself. And with that, I've got to go. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next live. Peace.